Sports Network. My name is Alex MW2 Jackson. I'm here with my buddy,
Philip Grayson, the Angry Snow Bear.
and we are here with some MW2 action. SAGU Purple versus St. Mary's University. Now, with this squad, this is a vital moment here because SAGU needs to win this, so they only have one game to reach playoffs here. Same goes for St. Mary's. So if they ended up one of the teams lose this game, they're going to have to win out for the rest of the season to make a playoff push. Philip, you practice a lot with the purple team. What do you think their mindset is going into the game?
I think they know how important this game is to really just stay ahead of the curve. They're going to need to really focus up on mostly control. Their hard points are getting pretty good. They really need to focus on just playing their own life and staying alive. There's no point to die in unnecessary places, and they need to really focus on getting their call-outs out. If they get all that done, I end up having a pretty good night.
Perfect. So with this, Modern Warfare 2 does go by a best of 5. The modes are hardpoint, search, control, hardpoint, search. So I will go through each of these modes, explaining how it works and what's the objective. So first off, map 1 and map 4 are always hardpoints. With hardpoint, it's the first to 250 points. They have rotation, so it is a certain position along the map. And as soon as you're in the zone, you start gaining points, and the first 250 points wins the map. For the map 1, I believe they are playing on Fortress. They're playing hardpoint on Fortress. And with this map, I know a lot of people have speculations of spawn traps, everything like that. Do you think they have a strong, I guess,
idea
how to run Fortress?
I think this week really showed they spent the time on learning how to really play Fortress. Until this point in the season, I don't believe they've played any Fortress competitively at all. It's always been on their own scrimmages and practices and stuff like that. So this week, the big focus was getting that pre-rotation down and getting the spawns that they needed to capitalize on the next hill. I know for Fortress in particular, with P1, you kind of almost want to fight to not give the other team any time on it and really watch your angles and get that setup going. Because as soon as you start going, this team has a very good chance just to start rolling. And if they start snowballing minutes and time, it makes it a lot easier to kind of relax and let your foot off the gas and kind of coast to that 250 point if they jump off to a quick lead. Which this team is totally capable of doing. But it just depends on how they really focus up and try to get this done.
Now with Fortress, there are 6 points along the map. When we refer throughout the map, we will say P1, P2. Those are just the positions of the points in order. So as we move along after map 1, we go into Search and Destroy, otherwise known as S&D, my favorite map and mode, and Angry Snow Bear's least favorite mode. So with Search and Destroy, it's first to win 6 rounds. The objective as you're attacking is to plant the bomb and make sure the opponent doesn't defuse. As on defense, obviously defend the sites, make sure the bombs don't go off, and hopefully defuse it or disarm the bomb. Again, the difference between hardpoint and Search and Destroy is that hardpoint is a respawn. You can die as many times and then come back to life. On Search and Destroy, you only have that one life for that one round. So it's a 4v4, and they are playing on a CeeLo Search and Destroy, which is we don't have much experience on CeeLo as on SAGU Lions, but what do you think their game plan is going into a CeeLo?
With going in on S&D and a CeeLo, it's going to be an adjustment coming back from hardpoint in particular. Search just moves so much slower, and a CeeLo is open enough that you know where your choke points are going to be, and you just can't rush out there. So hopefully what we've practiced with them, what they've practiced this week, is that they're going to play a little slower out of the gate and attempt to get some of those influential first kills each round if they're attacking or defending, and then kind of play it from there. I know something they've struggled with and we've struggled with too is playing it too quickly. And Search really, you got to take in the moment. You got to look at where all your teammates are, have a good idea where they are, kind of know where their plan is. You have to be able to communicate really well. I think that's going to end up being their biggest issue, is just playing it too fast. But I think they're going to end up doing pretty good, especially on a CeeLo.
Perfect, perfect. With the last game mode of map going into map 3, it is control. Control is a kind of a difficult thing to explain. So each team has 30 lives. So it is kind of a mix of search and destroy where you do have limited lives and a respawn. So you have 30 lives. As in the attacking team, there are 2 points you have to capture. Which each point there are things called segments. You have to have 3 segments to capture the full point. Obviously on defense, you just have to defend them, keep them off a point, make sure they don't capture, and either deplete their lives or just run out of time. Now, as you're attacking, the more segments that you get, we might call them ticks. So if you get 2 ticks on offense, that goes into the last round. Whoever has more ticks will get defense as the last round. And same thing as map 2, this is going to be on El Asilo. What do you think their game plan is for El Asilo?
I mean, it's kind of going to be like it is for S&D, especially for defense. They're going to end up just attempting to get to where they need to post up and wait and getting their coverage, getting their angles down. Defense should play pretty well out for this group. I know both their ARs have spent a lot of time this week focusing on where they need to be and where their angles are, and their sub players know to control the middle area of the map and really be able to float to A and B side depending on where more pressure is being applied. For attacking, they've been doing really good this week on attacking. They're kind of rolling with their subs are leading the charge on that, and their ARs are watching the back. So I think attacking will be fine. Defense will be a little interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah.
Depends on how hot the ARs come out. If they come out a little flat, hopefully by this point it would be round 3, so everyone would be tuned up and ready to go, and they won't struggle with that. But we'll end up seeing as we go.
Okay. As we are starting to get the lobby going in, I just want to talk a little about St. Mary's. We have not really seen a lot of VOD or playback from their team. So VOD is when it's just a video recording of their past matches. So we always go and study it. But as I guess we are restarting the lobby.
Looks like it.
But so a lot of teams at the high level, we like to go back and watch gameplay so we can learn from our mistakes, what we did fine, what we need to do better in order to improve our game and go from there. But would you watch their last week map or match? They
For
ended
us
up,
or for purple?
for purple.
Purple.
So they ended up winning. They ended up winning
This is us.
3. This is ours.
Okay.
So this is SAGU Lions here. We ended up winning 3-0 against MCAT's COD.
Yep.
I know during the search and destroy, we kind of let them get back a little too much.
I wouldn't even call it like a falter. I think it was more of a, we know how to play S&D on this map in particular pretty well, and we were just trying some new things out, I think, for S&D in particular. This is a control game.
I know we did try the sniper for the first time, which was a big,
Had some growing
kind of
pains.
a no-no. Yeah, big no-no at the beginning, but we were up by so many rounds. We just decided to try out new things, possibly make it better, possibly know what we did wrong so we can make it better in the future. So with the control, I felt like that was one of our best controls we played just because we learned the spawn traps, which a spawn trap is when you block off where they can run. So they're running right into your gun, basically. Kind of like this right here, where he's stuck in the corner. I know he just spawned, and I'm just slaying out. But same thing right here with Aether. He was top bed. He knows he spawned right behind bedroom. So just always putting the pressure, especially in control, it's very vital to winning a game.
Yeah, especially on defense. It's basically you're just catching. You know where they're coming from. You know where they're going. So it's just needing to be taking in all the information from sounds, from cues that you're hearing, from information your teammates are giving you, and really getting that pattern down, and really just going for like overlapping fields of fire, especially for defense, and just making sure everyone's got everyone's angle covered. Because there are some moments where, like, if you have a guy go down, you don't have that entire angle covered. And if that happens, then you start getting into some situations where spawns are going to move and things like that are going to start changing.
Now, I know Ogden had record-breaking games. I know he did break the respawn, the hardpoint kills record. And I know he broke the search and destroy kill record. I believe he went 14-4, and he dropped 30 kills on map 1, which is which is insane. But as we load up into Fortress here,
Looks like they spawned on they did it again.
I guess we spawned on the wrong side again. Sorry for this, folks, but we will get that sorted out as soon as possible. I guess you'll keep on seeing our pretty faces and just hang out and conversate about the match. But
So back to the highlights.
But so there are things called gentleman agreements. By this, it's kind of ran by the pros, and it basically just dictates what gun is overpowered, and if it's overpowered, they take it out of the game. It's basically just the rule set. Some schools don't agree with it. Most of them do though. As we can see, most of the players are either using two guns. The Vaznev 9K, which is a submachine gun, used more for close quarters. They move around a lot. They run fast. Right here, this is the TAC 56 or the SCAR, which is an assault rifle, mainly for long and mid range. There's a lot of different playouts with matters what gun you use. Obviously, if you have an assault rifle, you're not going to go super close quarters, and if you have a submachine gun, you're not going to go far. As Angry Snowbear and I, we're both assault rifle players, and we keep our distance. We don't even want to mess with the close quarters.
Because there's no point going into a gunfight where you're already down.
Yeah,
with just the context of getting the chance to win it, and that just comes down to playing your life. Submachine gun players do tend to die more, but that's just because their role is up in your face, moving quick, things like that.
To get the edge on the troll, and now Florida International are keeping this game close, not giving the SAGU Lions any significance. Right now,
so this map now is about 2 weeks ago, I believe, against Florida International. We had a game plan, and it just didn't. We just didn't execute, and I felt like we should have won this game, but they ended up running away with it, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was just our ability to not adapt as fast as we needed to. We just, at that point, it was just self-sabotage almost of not being able to adapt and move on. Hardpoint in particular, kept that one pretty close for a while, and then, like I said, had a couple broken setups and just couldn't get back on our feet again.
I remember we had a long video session on this game, and we learned a lot from it. And
I spent hours watching this. At this point.
I don't think we'll ever have an issue with the mistakes that we ran against this. Now, I don't know how I won this map or this round, but they didn't really play that to the best of their ability, I believe. But
I mean, he probably didn't expect you to do what you were going to do. I feel it's pretty uncommon at that point. When there's less than 10 seconds left, he's checking to see if you're going to plant.
True.
I mean, I don't think I've ever been challenged to a gunfight with less than 10 seconds on a search. It's just, you don't see that very often.
Stay on your toes. That's all I got to say about these games. But the guns in this game, I love this game so far. There's not really much I complain about. Maybe the online experience is a little iffy with some of the server issues, but I mean, it can always be worse. I feel like we have a good grasp on this game, and we've been playing really good with basically just a almost pickup team. I feel like with the players we had with zero recruitment, and we've done really well, and that just shows that our hard work and our hours of scrimmages against other colleges, top colleges even, we really get into it. So we will be back shortly due to a technical difficulty. We'll get that handled, and we will come back as soon as we can.
Gamer activated. Gamer activated.
Welcome back to the SAGU Sports Network. We are getting into the first map here as
Oh,
we
we're
just
in it.
started on the first point. It seems like St. Mary's got first ticks there, but it does seem like SAGU is holding them off a little bit. What is the strategy going into the first point?
So for this first point, I think it's more going to be just keeping them off the point and really trying to capitalize to move to the next hill when that comes up. So right now, so right now it looks like we're already moving on to getting that next hill set up and ready to go. So, I mean, they've gone ahead and abandoned the first one. So they've committed to the full setup for the next one, and that looks like what the plan is.
Well, as you can see, Don't Run Now is not using the Vasnef 9K. He is using the FSS Hurricane, which is also a submachine gun, which is his role. But the FSS Hurricane is more of a mid-range type of submachine gun, and he's been doing really good with it the past couple weeks.
I think it's really going to fit into his role more of. I mean, he's up in their face as well, but he's more for that middle, in between your AR and your sub player to really get that.
And as
that area
Don't Run
covered.
Down almost gets the 2-piece, does get the 2-piece, and is holding the rest of the points. 2 pieces are 2 kills in a row, as he almost gets the 3-piece, which is a triple kill. And St. Mary's has a huge lead so far, but it does seem like SAGU Purple has the rotation into the next point.
Unfortunately, it looks like 2 of our guys spawned on the other side of the map from the hill. So they are now going to fight their way back onto the next hill before this one pops up. So now the new hill is live. We're taken down from a minute. The hill is this purple area that, well, which one is on right now?
The hill is around a statue. And
In the middle.
Yeah, in the middle of the map, or on one side of the map, sorry. But it does seem like St. Mary's broke through and is starting to have a little setup to try to hold SAGU Purple at bay and not let them get the kills they need to possibly get on the hard point and get points to get back into this game.
And this hardboard in particular is a difficult one to break
Yes,
if
it
you have
is.
a proper setup. But it looks like they have. We're getting on this hill right now.
So as we look at the UI here, on the top left is the St. Mary's roster. Top right is the SAGU Purple roster. In the top middle, it shows the points of each team as the game goes on. It also shows the timer of the full match on the top, and then the lower timer is the time of the hill. So each hill has 60 seconds until it rotates to the next one. Now, the bottom left does show the mini map, and it shows all the players by their numbers. The numbers correlate with each player, and it shows where the next hill, around at 10 seconds, it shows where the next hill is and where the current hill is. The bottom right shows everything that has to do with that particular player that we are watching. So Skipper, he is 5 and 9. He also has the trophy with his stun grenade and his Semtex grenade. Semtex grenade is a sticky grenade. But it does seem like SAGU is pushing into the point. They finally wipe the team and get control of the point.
And it looks like they've left Brett on the old hill to get as much time as they can on that old one while the rest of the team is looking to get a setup on the next one. We have 3 seconds till the next hill. So when that one goes live, it'll show up at the top with new hard point, like right there. And now the teams can start getting time on this next hill. Which looks like St. Mary's is already on it.
Now Skipper's doing a really good job of getting the cross of the St. Mary's roster because, well, now they are spawning bottom green, which is this building where Don't Run Now is looking at and is right in front of. Those little objects on the ground are called trophies. Trophy systems, if you throw them down, the opponent throws a grenade or a Semtex of some sort, it deflects it pretty much, and it doesn't affect you. Great pick. Great. Oh, Gods ends up not getting the kill there, and St. Mary's continues to tack on their points.
Yep. Unfortunately, it looks like we're still fighting for this current hill. St. Mary's already has a player moving to the next one, as you can tell in the bottom left corner. And we're spawning in kind of out of the way, so we have a farther chance to run to get there.
What do you think SAGU needs to do to get back into this game?
They need to get down just to their fundamentals. These guys know what their role is and what they're trying to do. That's why you see Kenny getting on hill right now, because that is Kenny's job. So Kenny knows that he needs to be there. Right now we're looking at Esteban, who looks to be attempting to circle back to this backside to watch this whole rear end of the hill. Brett now, if you look in the bottom corner, Big Country is trying to rotate around the side. So they just need to slow back down a little bit and understand if everyone does their role, this should be a pretty quick, like, getting back on your feet. I think right now they're just a little shook up. We're playing the 250. So there's still plenty of time left on the clock to really drag this one out. I just think the guys need to focus up a little bit and calm back down. I think it was the whole delay and really getting started might have shook them up a little bit. But as soon as they settle back down, we should be able to jump back into this.
Now, as we go into the second rotations, as we on P2 here, which is there's Gallows, and we call them Gallows. They're just holding a head glitch, which a head glitch is when you're just behind a structure and the structure is all you can see is your head. So forces the enemy to really hone in their aim and only get headshots, which is sometimes very difficult to achieve. But God's out here getting as much time as he can. Unfortunately, getting bad timing there with the reload and getting cleared off the point.
So Kenny's still on the point, so as long as you have 2 players on either team contesting, no team's getting time. Right now, St. Mary's has crossed the 200-second mark, so they're closing in on that 250 number. SAGU's still fighting for the old hill to try to get as much scrap time as they can, and scrap time is what we refer to as when the majority of the team is rotated to the next hill. Scrap is going to be, you'll normally leave 1 player to try to just get as much time as you can to soak it up off the old one.
It's about the last 15 to 10 seconds of the last hill. It does seem like SAGU is pushing in from the circle area, and looks they seem to be getting picked off and not really finding success breaking into the P3 hill. Now, keep in mind that St. Mary's can win off of this point, and it's honestly SAGU Purple really needs to push this and play for this break here.
Yeah, it looks like Xander Kranz calling in his kill streak of the game. He's been the one who's been holding on to this hill the most, and this one in particular. I haven't been checking to see if he's doing anything on the other hills, but he's holding this one down.
Don't Run Down does stop the St. Mary's roster from scoring and winning, but it does seem like St. Mary's is already at the next hill going for the win. 2 seconds. And that will do it for map 1, St. Mary's with the win. Series count is now 1-0. Now, SAGU Purple, they did kind of go through a rough spot throughout the whole map, I think. They with only 89 points, as the COD lingo calls it, we call that the 100-point club. Yep. That just shows that the opposing team just dominated. Now, what do you think the team needs to do to move past that? Yep. What do you think they need to do to go into this search and destroy in map 2?
I think in Search and Destroy, they need to go ahead, like I was saying earlier, they need to shift into that whole other gear, where Hardpoint is way faster paced, and you really start to see that where, like, you need to move quick and make your shots count and get your timing down. Going into Search, I'm saying the ARs need to calm down and really get the coverage of where they need to see it. On this map coming up, it's very important that the subs get to where they need to be, and that would be Gods and Don't Run Now need to be in the right position to really capitalize on attacking or defending, but mostly for the attacking side.
Now, with this next map, it is called El Asilo. It is it looks like a 3-lane map. There's one on the right side. It shows a huge antenna pole. On the left side, there's a soccer field and kind of a building structure which has one of the bomb sites. And then there's a whole mid structure which has the second bomb site. The most popular one is the bomb site in the mid structure. A lot of teams just rush into it and just hope for the best timing, and hopefully they might get the first kill, first 2 kills even. But the most important thing that I think SAGU Purple needs to do is wipe that off. First map, we always say first map, we're not warm, we're not locked in yet, especially since it's already done. Don't dwell on it.
Yep, you can't go back and change that one. What's important now is making sure that the performance from the first map does not hamper your performances in the upcoming ones, because it's very easy just to get down on yourself, especially after a game like that, and just never really recover. They really need to focus on pushing past that point, because I think Search is one of their stronger game modes, and if they calm down and focus in, they should be good to go.
Now, with the in-game leader, with the skipper 12, I believe is his number in this gamer tag, he is the one holding the reins. He tells the players how we are going to play this and how we are going to control this emotionally. So now we are in El Asilo, it looks like we are defending first. And the key to search and destroy, especially on defense, is let the offense make the first move. They have to plant the bomb.
In times working against them, as long as you have a good defense, they will eventually have to do something. They'll have to break your defense, win a gunfight in a key position. They'll have to do something to keep you off. It looks like St. Mary's is going for the A-bomb push, which is fairly typical on this map.
God's
pushing towards the A-bomb.
Yes.
So,
yeah, the A-bomb is in the mid structure. Like I said before, Big Country does get a kill around that antenna object that I did explain, and it looks like one person is their top mid, which is their mid structure. They're two kind of overseas, as Don't Run Down does die along that alley.
So right now, both of your ARs, the two players alive for SAGU Esports. Hopefully, yep, that spawn's going to see this guy here in kicks. You really don't want to be in the point where both your ARs are alive on a bomb plant in a situation where the bomb is inside like this, where just they will not have the advantage they need to really be in that spot.
Now, as you see, this great kill by Skipper, I think. Really good job of getting that trade, which trade is when your teammate dies, but you kill the person that killed your teammate for an even trade. As we move into offense, do you think they ever go B, or do you think they'll just rush A?
I think they'll go B if this A plan doesn't go well. This team's not afraid to push B right out of the gate, which is a little unorthodox, but they're confident in their ability to do that. For this A-bomb push, well, Brett's losing that gunfight on the far left. So, if we can get control on the inside of this building and get the plant down, he's planting in a spot right now. Okay, he's not. Never mind on that one.
Pyro ended up breaking into the site and killing our bomb planter, which was God. Last alive is Skipper, and he gets gunned down there, which is the round 2 win for St. Mary's. What's the game plan going into this next defense?
This next defense is like, okay, so after watching their first attack round, you know that they're going to try to go with an A-bomb push. Why wouldn't they? They just had a successful one. Just keep hitting it until it works, until it doesn't work, until you have to try something else. So you already kind of have the idea that they're going to be coming to that A side again, and you already kind of know, hopefully, they've now talked about it as a group in between, that they know where these players in particular like to play, and they can counter that push. Depending on how this next round will go, we'll see how our next attack phase will go as well.
Now, this spot where God was playing is called kegs, because there are kegs stacked up, and as he gets picked off by Corazon. But there is a trade on, I believe, Big Country got the trade around Antenna.
Yep. It looks like Kenny's also... Yes. So when Kenny ends up getting this kill, or Brett, I'm not sure. Brett is Big Country, so I don't know why I keep calling him that. You start getting the lives remaining. So now we're at a 1v1, where Skipper is the last alive for SAGU, and he doesn't know where the bomb is, because I don't believe that anyone's called it out. And as we can see, the bomb is on the move, and it looks like the bomb is wrapping around the A side, and Esteban, the Skipper, is just going to lay down and try to see if he can hear the St. Mary's player.
Now, Skipper just popped dead silence, which is a function where you can't hear footsteps. If you don't have dead silence on, there's a thing what players called sounding, and they just hear all your footsteps. As Laser God King just planted at B, Skipper does have time to play a little slow here. He is kind of playing very slow and methodical, I guess you can say. He does not have any tacticals, which a tactical is either a stun or a nade.
And now the St. Mary's player is fired at Skipper. Skipper has a rough idea of where this player is going to be, and it looks like he's about to re-challenge Esteban on the same corner. So Esteban, knowing where this player is, okay, ends up losing the gunfight. But if Esteban kills this player on the truck that you saw him shooting at, he would end up to jump onto the bomb and defuse that before the timer runs out.
Good gunfights by Don't Run Now. As you can see, Gods and Skipper ended up losing theirs as well. But I just think they're getting killed way too fast. I think we're playing way too aggressive and not letting the game come to us, because we
Yep.
need to play for the first picks and move on from there.
Especially on a defense round.
It does. St. Mary's is wrapping around Antenna and going into our spawn, actually. I guess in their hopes of killing SAGU from behind.
It looks like that has been working. Like I was saying, just on knowing your round count, search and destroy is first to 6. So that was round 4. There's already been 2 defense rounds and 2 attack rounds, so both teams should have an idea of how each other play it. It looks like on this they knew SAGU was going to go for that A side push, and if they probably peeked on that outside lane and realized that we didn't have anyone watching the outside lane, and they had a free path right around to the side. And
so between each round, each team switches from offense to defense. Offense being the bomb carrier, trying to get the bomb planted at each given bomb site. On defense, basically trying not to get them to plant the bomb, or just killing all players before they kill you. It does seem like Gods did get some damage on their bomb carrier, on St. Mary's bomb carrier, but he did get away. So Gods does have some information on the players, as Big Country's trying to hold the spawn and make sure nobody wraps. The player that got through ended up wrapping around and killing Gods and Skipper. Kenny, Don't Run Out is the last hope of holding bomb site, and St. Mary's with the beautiful trades. That playing together is such a vital point of this game, and search and destroy. And that is round 5. So St. Mary's is 1 round away from taking map 2. Remember, the series is whoever wins 3 maps wins the match. If St. Mary's somehow wins the next round, they only have 1 game mode to go to win the match.
It will be Control. I'm not sure which map it was on, but Control will be the one we will go to a round 3 on if St. Mary's wins this round 6 game in search and destroy.
Now let's hope SAGU regroups, finds a strategy, and come back from this. Possibly come back 6-5. If they come back and win this, it is called a full sale. As Gods gets the first pick on bomb site.
Looks like, yeah, we have Brett, Big Country, in a gunfight with a guy on the outside, on the antenna side, to make sure there's no one coming around that wrapping around. We do get the bomb plant on A. It looks like Big Country is going to reposition and hopefully see if he can bait this guy in. Ended up losing the gunfight, but now, even though Brett died, that does not mean that that was for less. He now has gotten the call out that SAGU knows that they're coming from the side Big Country just died on. They're not sure how many are there, but they're quickly finding out.
Now Gods in a 1v1 situation, and Gods gets gunned down, and that is a St. Mary's map 2 win 6-0. Kind of the same story as map 1. I feel like St. Mary's just came with the game plan, and they're executing. This was a great first blood, as you can see, Gods' first blood. Great first blood by Gods. They just couldn't play the defense to protect the bomb from getting defused by the defending team.
Yeah, and I mean, after watching this hard point we just finished and the search and destroy, it just looks like SAGU needs to focus on winning their gunfights.
Now, as we go into the third map, this is match point for St. Mary's now. I hope the trajectory changes.
Yes.
With the first 2 map, I just feel like SAGU was just not prepared, I guess you can say. Not prepared, whether the hard point, with the rotations to each hard point, search and destroy, they weren't prepared. I think that was their only bomb plant, which was round 6.
Yes, I believe so.
But what do you think? Now with this, SAGU is actually hosting a Modern Warfare 2 tournament. This is for everyone. April 1st, 2 p.m. start is the online qualifiers. As you progress through that, and as you win the online qualifiers and you qualify for the in-person tournament, that is going to be at SAGU campus in Waxahachie in the McCafferty Hall. 1 p.m. venue opens. 1 to 2 are where all teams can warm up on the 12 PCs, 4 Xboxes, 4 PS5s. Please sign up.
You can use this QR code here to do that.
Yes, you can use the QR code here to sign up, or type in the website at the very bottom. There is a prize pool. 60% goes to first place, 30 to second, 10% to third place. It's going to be a search and destroy rule set, double elimination, which is if you lose in the first round, you can make a losers tournament win, honestly, and beat and win out. But search and destroy, I love search and destroy tournaments. I know you're not a fan of.
Cannot stand them.
You cannot stand the game mode, but that's
They're entertaining to watch.
very entertaining. But it's not for
It's just
it's
not
not
my
your cup
style.
of tea. Yeah,
No.
it's not your cup of tea. But going into control, each team has 30 lives,
Yep.
attacking and defending. Now, with each point does have 3 segments. Can you explain the total amount of ticks and how that affects if we go into a round 5 of control?
So with control, each point has 3 ticks. So obviously, this is handled very similar how the whole game is, where it's 3 out of 5. Whoever gets best out of 5. So if we end up to the point where we are 2-2 going into game 5, whichever team gives up the least ticks on their defense round will have the advantage for round 5. Tick is the segment on the control point. So after we get the game going, we can look in and see around the A and B triangle symbol, each side of the triangle is considered a tick. And after that progress goes through, you can't lose anything back through the progress you've already secured.
Now, control is probably my least favorite game mode, because some of the maps just don't work out. It's really matters on the map that is used. But it does look like SAGU Purple is pushing the A points, and just trying to get the easy one out of the way first. As Cortisone gets the gunfight against Gods, and Don't Run Now is right there to get the trade. Big Country taking care of the guy at Antenna. That is a very power position area for this map.
Because he'll be able to cover the entire backside. So, I mean, it's safe to assume that you will not have anyone coming from the side you just spawned in on. So, as long as Brett is keeping that long side down, he knows no one's coming that way. And what we just saw here is the more players SAGU has on a point, the faster the cap is. We call that stacking a point. Normally on the A side, you will leave one guy off to keep your coverage, where he can look at the side you spawned on, the side they're attacking from, and get that coverage down. For B, you kind of just want to get everyone on. It's very open, it's very hectic, and you really need to just, if you have the momentum, get on it and get it. So right now, we look like we're about to secure our second tick on the B point. And after this, there will be one more segment for capture B.
As Cortisone is frying for the St. Mary's roster. I feel like every kill that I see is by Cortisone. But keep in mind, as we get progress with each point, if you capture the full point, you get an extra minute in time for the whole round. So that is very vital, especially if you get it so quick as SAGU Purple did.
Yes.
They have almost a minute and a half now to figure out how to make a strategic push on to B.
Because control is strange in that aspect, where you're not only just having to manage your own team's lives, how many lives the other team has, you need to watch the clock. Because, I mean, we've been in some situations, Lions, where we weren't managing the clock very well and had to make a hasty push towards the end. Right now, the lives are pretty even between the two teams. There's a minute and 10 seconds left, so it's not panic time yet, because they already do have the 2 ticks captured on B point. So it looks like as soon as SAGU gets up to this point, and they really start getting some kills on St. Mary's players, they can make an organized push to secure this last tick.
Now, it seems like St. Mary's is trying to push up through the B point and get to the area what we call a soccer field, which is right next to Gods, to create some sort of spawn trap. Now, spawn trap is very, very effective in control, especially because you can manipulate the spawns in such a crazy way to where they just walk into your gun. And it is very frustrating if you're on the offensive side, but I think that even if we do lose this round,
We have 20 seconds.
We have 20 seconds
It's time to start full send in it.
Yes.
We need we're even down on lives at this point, or SAGU is. So they have 5 lives left of the team. Now they're at 4. Everyone's got one more shot at this. So they have 8 seconds to get on. If they do make it on to this point, the timer will stop ticking. It doesn't look like they will be able to do that, which is
unfortunate.
Unfortunate to say the least.
But
yes.
keep in mind that SAGU Purple did capture 5 ticks. Now that will come into play if we do end up going to a round 5 of control, because whoever has the most ticks has defense, which is obviously an advantage of having defense first. After each round, we do flip sides. So now SAGU Esports will be defending and St. Mary's will be attacking.
And I think another benefit of playing this map again, since they just played it on Search and Destroy, is that the A and B control points are in very similar spots to the bombs. So coming right off of a Search and Destroy, you already kind of have an idea how this St. Mary's team is going to play their attack phase, and even their defense phase. The positions don't change. The power positions are still important regardless of what game mode you're playing. So here you see Big Country holding the antenna side. It looks like he's about to get flanked on, from our side here. And now they have a guy on the antenna side, and he's able to see the whole A side of the map. It looks like St. Mary's is going to jump on B, and that's another tactic you can use, where you can apply pressure somewhere. Like right now, one St. Mary's player is on B, and almost secured an entire tick there. So now St. Mary would be in a position that if they were spawning on a more favorable side, they could push that A side to really swing the pressure in a different direction.
And pushing B is a kind of unorthodox push in the beginning of the round.
Yes, very much so.
Just because it's so open, you can
drain a lot of lives.
You can drain a lot of lives if you don't do it effectively. Now, it does seem like SAGU is not taking advantage of the power positions on B, and it just looks like St. Mary's is now capturing A as well. So they do have 2 ticks on B, as they are about to lose B actually, and they have almost 2 ticks at A as well. So now 2 players are about to stack B and possibly capture it to add another minute of time to capturing A.
So now St. Mary's has 1 minute and 45 seconds and 21 lives to secure a tick and a half on A to send this into round 3.
Now lives are decently even. They're only by 5, but it does seem like SAGU is now getting spawn trapped. Like I said before, the opposing team can set themselves up to where they can make sure you spawn in one area, and that's all they have to watch. They don't have to worry about you wrapping around them, coming from left or right. They know you're going to be right in front of them.
Personally, I wish I would have seen Big Country stay on that position, but sometimes you got to make a decision. He was the closest one to the point. He needed to get on to stop the tick.
Now that is a round 2 win by St. Mary's. So this is game and match point. SAGU Purple needs to come through in a big way here to make it a competition of the rest of the series.
Yes, because if they, like we've addressed before, if they lose this round, which will be an attack round for SAGU, St. Mary's will win the best of 5 for the whole round.
And we look at this not even just losing this series. We look at this as
losing the week.
And also this game is huge. Now we have to win out to make a playoff berth. So with this has a lot of stress behind it. As we start off really well with this round so far, Skipper getting a 2-piece with a trade on top of that.
But unfortunately, he is alone.
Yes.
This is one of those situations where it looks like we are pushing up through the soccer field, where since Skipper is on the A side, he's applying pressure to the side that looks to be like the most dominant, urgent threat for St. Mary's to defend. But since he's drawing so much attention, as we can see, Big Country is up here working his way around this B side. That's him just playing his weapon strength. There's no real point until he has a teammate to help to capitalize on jumping on B as a duo and start getting the count. It looks like that's what's happening now. He's throwing down his trophy to get cover, and SAGU will start having progress towards the B capture point.
And Big Country, he's playing this to perfection, I believe. He didn't rush to get on point. He made sure he got the kills to clear out the point. And as you can see, Corazon team nading, which team nading is throwing a grenade and accidentally killing your own teammate.
And that's something we didn't address at the beginning. In ranked competition, you can kill your own teammates.
Oh, yes.
It's kind of just, having the situational awareness not to kill someone that you don't want to die. Right now, SAGU is holding the party position, or was, and holding party is important on this map in particular for getting the A side cap. Right now, it looks like we are contested on point. They only need a quarter of a tick left to get this A capture. And there's no point to hurry either. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine. Now St. Mary's is now depleting the progress that we made on the 3rd tick, which is kind of bad for SAGU, I think, because they were so close, but obviously now yet so far.
And now the pressure's on. It really comes down to St. Mary. Looks like they're going with the best offense is the best defense, where they're not just sitting down and waiting to play catch on SAGU pushing this A side. They're pushing up. They're getting in their face. They're getting to where they're pushing them back to where they're spawning out even farther away to make this push. There's a minute left on the clock, and they are down lives, but they only do need the 1 tick. So if SAGU can manage to get out of this spawn trap and make this A-side push, we'll be seeing a round 4.
As SAGU trickles down to the last 40 seconds they need to attack the A point, they're down to 7 lives. Doesn't look that hopeful. It looks like if St. Mary's just keeps up the pressure in their spawn, this will be a St. Mary's series win.
We have St. Mary's is calling it a kill streak they've acquired throughout the match. I'm not sure which round he acquired that on, but that will the cruise missile is influential in many ways. Obviously, you can get a kill for your team with it, but it shows where everyone is, and you can call that out for your teammates and really get that situational awareness.
With that last kill streak, St. Mary's does win the series. Unfortunate for SAGU Purple. They will have to bring their A game for the rest of the season in order to attempt for a playoff berth.
It'll have to be absolutely perfect. There is no room for mistakes from here on out. They will need to win the next 2.
They're now 2-4 after this series.
So they'll need to win the next 2, and if they do that, they will be going into playoffs at 4-4. Unfortunate, but you got to learn from it. And I know we talked about with Lions kind of being a pickup team. Purple's even more in that situation, where as this being both squads' first semester, it very much was like, well, what we have is what we have.
Yep.
We need to make a run at it, and we picked up 8 people and have built 2 teams that we think we can be competitive with, and on short notice, I think have done pretty solid.
Here are some highlights from throughout the match. With this one is search and destroy. Skipper gets the pick, almost wins the next 1v1 to win the round, but unfortunate that did not happen. Honestly, St. Mary's was in the driver's seat. I'm not gonna lie to you, they surprised me.
They did too. The only footage I believe we had seen was from week 1, and that was several weeks ago. So I mean,
they've been in the lab. They've been working hard. But congratulations to St. Mary's for the series win. Wish them best of luck for the rest of the semester. Nothing but good things. But now we're going to bring it back to the Call of Duty tournament, the Search and Destroy tournament. We are, remember, this April 1st?
April 1st
April 1st is the online qualifier. As soon as you qualify for that, for the in-person, April 15th at SAGU in McCafferty Hall. We will show you a promo video towards the end of the stream to promote this. I'm excited for this. I'm going to be there spectating everything. Like, I love Search and Destroy. It's my favorite mode, and I would love to see the non-competitive players, as you can say, the casual players, play in the competitive atmosphere. That's what I love about Call of Duty, is it gives the dads of the world, the parents of the world, a chance to play a video game competitively.
And especially with a game that's so widely known and common. I mean, you'd have to search hard and long, I think, to find someone who hasn't played Call of Duty or knows anything about Call of Duty. I think this will be an interesting way to see what the talent in the community is, with the community we've built in SAGU Esports Discord and local community, students on campus, friends we've made with other schools in the area. I think it'll bring an interesting perspective.
I think it's gonna be fun. I'm gonna make my own popcorn and watch the whole tournament. Now, please follow us, SAGU Esports, on all social medias, Instagram, Twitter, all of that fun jazz. We also have a Discord server open to the public. It's a great place to hang out, find teammates for various games, and just to make friends, honestly.
And even to get information on events like this for Call of Duty coming up and for other games that we'll be hosting in the future. The Discord's where most of that information will be first published for people who are interested.
But lastly, I'm Alex Mewtwo Jackson.
And I'm Philip the Angry Snow Bear.
Thank you for tuning in SAGU Sports Network.